Hey, welcome back, everybody. The March 2024 Fill with Purpose podcast. I have a question for you. Is your life hitting its bullseye? Think about that. If you have a bullseye of what the ideal life for you looks like, if you are hitting the very center of that, are you doing that, first of all, and how would you describe the things that are happening in your life when you're hitting that bullseye? And how would you assess how things are going right now? What would your friends say? Another question for you. What would your friends say is your life's purpose? And then, is that what you hope they would say? So, Fill with Purpose, these are just some of the questions that I like to have us think through. I know a lot of us, statistics show that a lot of people regularly think about finding more meaning and purpose in life. As a matter of fact, it's well over 60%. And here's my concern: is not a whole lot of people actually spend time making a plan and actually figuring out their purpose. They think about it. They think about a meaning in life, but they don't really think about it for their own life. And so that's what Fill with Purpose, these strategies and these visuals that I've created, that's what it's supposed to help steer us towards finding those things, and I hope it does for you. So again, my name is Phil Morse. I typically now have a guest to talk through their strategy, to talk through their circle of congruence, to talk through their sweet spot with them. But today, my guest that I had planned had to cancel. He had something that came up. So it's me today. But I think that actually works out okay, because I just think that this is a great time just for you and me just to think through some things here. So as you start thinking about finding your purpose in life and the meaning in life for you and the reason for you living, where does that bring you? Are you the type that doesn't really want to necessarily think through that so much? And you regularly think about purpose and having a meaning and life, but you don't really take time to sit and think about what those specifics are. Well, that's what I encourage you to do. I encourage you to actually take time to yourself. And if you're a follower of Jesus, that you take time in prayer and asking, what is it that God has for you? Or what is it the strategy in your life? What is your strategy? I'm going to bring up right now my strategy, and we won't go through all the details, but I've taken time to actually create my battle plan. What a strategy is, it's your battle plan for how you're going to live your life on purpose. And a strategy is actually Greek for strategio, which means the art of war. We are in a war in this life that we live. And so I have created my own strategy, and that's what I encourage any of you. I encourage you to create your own strategy and to reflect on it on a regular basis. So here's my strategy. And when I think about, when you look at the very top right-hand corner there, the motivation for my life, the why for my strategy, it's the why do you exist? Like, what is your overall life motivation? And that's where you start with your strategy. Just take time to reflect on that. If that's to love people, to make other people feel good, if it's to make money, whatever that motivation is, you start there. Now, I would recommend that life be more about just making money, but I'm not going to dictate exactly what your strategy is. So, and in your strategy, there's goals here set up that I have within these these 6 triangles, and then there's action steps to reach those goals. That's part of my strategy. I actually reflect on these things and how I do those. How am I doing in those things? And then I also have some core life principles, as you can see there in my strategy, that they're items, they're behaviors, habits that I want to make sure that I do not negotiate on in my life. I do not do certain things like, obviously I need to love my family. It's going to jeopardize how well I live out my strategy if I'm not loving my family, if I seek to impress no one and just for me to glorify the name of Jesus, that's my goal. And if I seek to impress no one, then I won't compromise on in pursuit of my strategy, and so forth. And then there's a leisure item there too, as you can see. That's really important that we take time to leisure, to play pickleball. In my case, to watch my Andy Griffith show, to sit around a campfire, take naps when available. So I hope that you take a look at this, your strategy. This is on the website, fillwithpurpose.com. And there's blank sheets of this. Make your own strategy. And then we also, within the Fill with Purpose approach, we have this circle of congruence. It's a way for you to balance, to find that you're balancing and have a congruence in how you're balancing your time, energy, and resources. Everybody has it. You have time. You have resources. You have energy. You have money. The list goes on and on as to what resources are. There's nobody that doesn't have these things, at least to some degree. So how are you spending your time, energy, and resources? How are you balancing them out? Is it always only on you? Is it always only on others? Is it always only on your family? Are there any one of these three categories that get left out and need your energy, your time, and your resources to be focused on that category? So that's what the circle of congruence is. And in your sweet spot right here, this is a visual to help you find your sweet spot about how you've been created and the uniqueness in you, and then how you can create your strategy based on that. So you've been uniquely created. You see needs uniquely around you versus anybody else. And you also have unique open doors and opportunities. Everybody does, including you. So how are you going to, in a planned way, in a way with direction, how are you going to make that happen in your life? How are you going to find your sweet spot and utilize that sweet spot so you can create your strategy? Everybody has a strategy. Everybody does. But some people don't really put any energy and effort into it and are kind of aimless and wandering. So maybe I take that back, but maybe not everybody has a strategy. Maybe people just are aimless. But everybody's at least doing certain things, but don't put any time and energy and effort into thinking about those and evaluating those. And that's what your strategy is all about. So back to my question that I started with. Is your life hitting its bullseye? And if you're like, I don't know, well, you probably need help in creating your bullseye. And what does your bullseye look like? What if it was hitting it at the very center? What does that look like in your life? How would you describe the things happening in your life? This is a perfect, Fill with Purpose is a great opportunity for you to think these things through with people and by yourself. So, in closing, there's three tools that I would really love to see you interact with people. These strategies, these visuals that I have, these three visuals, they are for you to talk or think through, but also talk through with people. That's what we have. I've created a workshop. We had a workshop last couple Saturdays ago in Hart, and thank you so much, Hart Westland Church, for allowing me to be there. We got one coming up here in Whitehall at Whitehall Evangelical Church, the first couple Sundays in April during their Sunday school time. We're going to get into a workshop then with them, and hopefully there's some other groups that want to get involved as well and want a 2-hour workshop that I can come and lead. So please let me know if that's something you'd like for me to be around for. There's a podcast, this right here, what you're seeing, where I'm sitting together with somebody else. Not today because he had to cancel, but where I'm sitting together with somebody else talking about their strategy, talking about their circle of congruence and their sweet spot. And then you can listen in on their life and see how that something that they say resonates with you. And then the last piece of Fill with Purpose, to interact with people for a little accountability to help us live with purpose, is what I call purpose groups, to work with other people, to actually meet with other people, groups of 2 to 10 or anything in between, and meet with people and actually go through your circle of congruence, your strategy in your sweet spot, and talk through some questions that I have on the website. And you guys can talk through those things in a small group setting to help, again, bring direction and purpose to your life. All right. That's my spiel as concisely that I think I can do. That's what Filled with Purpose is all about. I hope you have a wonderful month of March. I'll be back in April, hopefully with a guest sitting here with me and here in the podcast room, and we're going to talk about his or her life. Signing off again, Phil Morris, Filled with Purpose. Have a great month.